Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are back once again with Let's Talk FGC. Guys, it's been 3 weeks back to back to back, so I hope you're enjoying the weekly episodes without break, which is really nice to have. If you're a first time here or you're returning to the audio podcast, you know the drill. This is Let's Talk FGC. Today is a first to 10 Q&A between me and my guest, who is Ellen Cho. Somewhat deep dive into what the FGC might not know about them, their views, and some other interesting topics along the way. If you'd like to follow me and find out more about FGC Africa and Sheldzable, you can check my link tree on my Twitter. Guys, today's guest is one of Africa's entrepreneurs, the co-founder and manager of Team Dramatrix, who sponsors some familiar names you know and love. Mr. 5000, Zaza, and Han Rashid. Many have met her at big local tournaments in South Africa, but I'm yet to be so lucky. But here we are, finally getting to know her on a more personal level. Ellen Chu. AKA Cholwe.
It's Joe.
Cholwe, how are you?
Hi, I'm good.
Good.
How are
good,
you?
Good. I'm very good. I didn't practice that well. Ellen Cho. I got it. I'll get
Don't
your gamer
worry.
name eventually. I mean, mine's Sheldzable half the time. So awesome. Guys, we're here. You guys know the drill. Ellen's been briefed. She knows what's coming. You guys all know what's going. So please have fun in the chat and join us along the way. We're going to go straight into it. Question number 1 is, let's hear about your intro into esports and, the African FGC. As someone who founded the first Zambian esports organization, the question would normally be based on FGC, but since you have your hands in many pots across the board, tell the people how it came to be.
Well, gaming has always been a passion for me. I started playing games when I was about 5 or 6 years old. I grew up around a lot of cousins who were cool at the time. They had PS1, PS2, and they're all guys, so they kind of just adopted me into their lifestyle. So I started playing games like Contra. I can't remember what Tekken that was because I was so little.
Yeah.
And I can't remember what MK that was. But Reptile used to spit out some kind of acid. I really love games. And first uni, I met my co-founder Prince, and I also used to attend a couple of local events by Nedotaku.
Yeah.
And really that's where I saw like actual live competitions. And so after that I was really like, oh my god, this is so cool. And I always thought of having to host a couple myself, or having to travel to attend these events. So eventually in about 2017, Prince and I decided to say, oh, let's try and do this. Let's try and create some events locally. And after we created our first event with Gem at Bongo Hive, we then saw like a rush of so many people, and some players even traveled from across the country to attend, and that was so motivating to us.
Yeah.
And we got to meet players like Zaza, and Zaza was like, if you guys aren't planning to do this long term, don't waste our time. Don't waste the community's time. So when he talked like that, I could feel the passion, and it told us to say, hey, we love this, so why don't we just go into it? So from the event, we met Chimba, Justin, Zaza, and Kevin and John, who played FIFA, and they had really good performance scores. And after that, we had the idea to create a team where we could learn how to build careers around the games and potentially make it a sustainable business, so that we could support young talent that starts off in Zambia and put them on the world stage, and also create careers for ourselves as founders, so that we could also create a sustainable career eventually in something that we love to do and are passionate about. So really just trying to create a sustainable ecosystem around our brand. So that's where the passion really started. And also, like, along the way, um, I met very good people at the first event we attended in Kenya. I met a close friend of mine, Barasa, and some people from Pro Series Gaming in Kenya.
Yeah.
And I feel like that was the main thing that uh, really put the fire in us to really go the long way. Because after we won that tournament, we're like, we can't let these guys down. We have to really try
Yeah.
our best to really make this a reality
Mm-hmm.
and do the best we can to do right by them. So that's really where it all started. That was more like the genesis of how we got into it. And after that, it was networking with so many great people across Africa, across the US, across Europe, and learning from them constantly. So yeah.
The genesis of Gematrix. That's a that's a
Yeah.
nice good tongue twister for it. I love that. It sounds like
Thank
it
you.
happened quite naturally in terms of the way things fell into place there. But I can see the effort put in to get the players and yourselves into gear and be involved with everything that was going on around you guys. Um, I love to hear that. Obviously I spoke with Mr. 5000, and he gave me a little history about that MKX tournament in Kenya that you guys all went over, and you kind of snagged them up and said, "Come, Team Gematrix, it is. This is where you're staying," and the rest is history. Which is really a nice story. You know, it's funny. Someone actually asked us in the chat, going into question number 2. As someone who's effectively a talent scout for players, that has joined your organization across from PUBG, Apex, Mortal Kombat, and I believe Call of Duty as well. What is it that you look in players? What do you look for in players other than the talent at that specific game?
Mhm. Really, what we look for is two main things: the hunger to succeed, and the other thing that we look for is someone who is really, what can I say, someone who is really ready to adapt to anything, someone who's really ready to um, embrace that this is a long journey. Like, it's not something like, oh, you get signed today and then you're like Sonic Fox the next day. Like, it's a process. It's more like someone who understands that for you to get to that pinnacle of success, it's a long process.
Mm.
And someone who's patient enough with us and also with themselves to actually go through that whole journey process. I'll give an example hypothetically of how, someone who wants to lose weight or is going to diet would work out. You go to the gym today, you don't expect to lose weight the next day.
Mm.
It's a constant process of you commit something and constantly going to the gym every single day, putting in the work, and eventually you start to notice it. Well, people around you start to notice it first, and then eventually you will notice the change in you and you'd have lost weight. So that's really how the whole process of esports should be taken,
Yeah.
because we are really at the beginning in Africa. As much as we would like to say, oh, we're 20 years old on industry or whatever, we are really the genesis, because this is when most of us are starting to understand the roles we could play and how we fit into the puzzle of making Africa reach to its point of success. So someone who is patient and very hungry to succeed, uh, that self-motivation is really needed. That self-passion is really needed, because I won't lie, it's a team effort.
Yeah.
Sometimes when I talk to Han and we have long conversations, or I talk to Zaza or Justin or my co-founder Prince, there are times when you get so beat down, and you wouldn't want to really go through it, and you won't tell anyone, but the spark of passion that you get from each other really drives you to the next point and the
Yeah.
next point and the next point, and you get to celebrate the small successes together, and you learn from all the failures. So someone who's hungry and passionate and committed to the patience of the process.
Mm.
So yeah,
I like.
that's what we really look for.
I really like that answer in terms of how sponsorship and being signed as a player is a journey. And I think a lot of people that would join a sponsorship, you know, would would need to know that. That's a very good tip, because obviously we have lots of successful players now coming up and coming, and it's a very good tidbit to remember with them, is that the process is a journey, and that it's not going to be what you think it is right at the beginning. And I love that you said celebrating small successes, because you got to celebrate the wins and figure out how you handle the losses. That's good. I would love to see how your potential new players in the future go along that journey with you, because this is just the beginning for Team Gematrix, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Talking about the FGC in Africa, I think this topic is going to be interesting to see your perspective, because I ask this question to every single person who comes on that's who is a competitive player in MK11, and as someone who sends players to these competitions, I want to know from you, how do you feel about the FGC in Africa in its current state, and what would you like to see more across the board from the African esports scene?
Okay, so I'll break it down, then you remind me about the last part about the African esports
Yeah,
scene.
sure, of course.
But the current the current status right now, honestly, I can say with the rise of FGC Africa creating so much content and putting so much eyes on our community, that's so comforting to me, because at the end of the day, how we tell our story and really controlling our narrative, and not letting anyone from the outside control our narrative or how people perceive us. But showing the growth of our community and the process is very important in content. And right now, I can say we're doing pretty good for ourselves when it comes to content, especially with leaders like FGC Africa. And I'm hoping that a lot of communities would also rise to that table of creating more content. You've also got people who are creating podcasts like you. That's really important, that people start to know the different personalities within our community. It's just like sports, really.
Yeah.
It's about, telling the story. Everyone wants to know, like, what's Cristiano Ronaldo doing? Okay, I'm not interested in who he's dating, but I want to know, like, what does he drink?
Yes,
Or
exactly.
how did he start playing? All those things. So that creates a great storyline, and it's something that helps us in between the tournaments to really understand, like, who's really good now, or I want to know more about the underdogs,
Yes.
or the people who are high ranking. So it's really important that we have more stories around the community, and so far so great. And also, I just wish that the internet was really great on the continent, so that we could have like so many exhibition matches with so many people across the globe, because that would have been really, really great to add on to our story. But we make do with what we have, and so far it's been nice to see different regions, like the way FGC Africa did the North Africa, West Africa side tournaments, and the Southern Africa, East Africa side tournaments.
Yeah.
So that's really good. Also, I think we should reach a point where, we don't wait for these big sponsorships to come about, these big companies to say, oh, can I put in 50,000 Rand or $10,000 into this tournament? I feel like we should really focus more on trying to build our community ourselves and see how best we can do that. It's been nice to see pot bonus caps that are coming up with FGC Africa and so forth. Sorry for saying so much about FGC Africa, but it's all I see.
Please go ahead, promote FGC Africa. That's who I work for.
This is not an endorsement, but an endorsement.
Yeah, free sponsorship. Go ahead.
So seeing a lot of community-based caps are really great and important for us, because I feel like if we start going towards that route, we'll find a situation where we can now save enough to say, we're doing a tournament in SA at this university or at this sport that has been sponsored, and all of us can travel, or something. We cannot get on buses, guys. We don't always need to fly, like, seriously.
Oh, we could get on the bus. Yeah,
so
Not me though.
So yeah, like I know, right? Well, yeah. So I think it's really about building ourselves sustainably, and then I feel like after we build ourselves that way, eventually we're going to see a sponsorship come up, say, "Hey, I want to put in $10,000 into this because this is amazing. I've seen how it has grown, things like that." So I feel like we should focus more on self-sustainability. When it comes to esports on the continent, I think so far so good. Like a lot of us learned that if you want this to be extravagant or to reach the point where you're having huge majors on the region, you have to look at it from the business point.
Mm.
Like as much as we love it and it's a passion, we can't always get to what we want just by taking it as a hobby or just something as a, just friends. There has to be a point where you start looking at it from that perspective, because that's the point where you can now start saving and putting money together, where it's going into a treasury or something, and build something greater. But so far, I think our growth also is tied hand in hand with the internet. So the more the internet gets better, the more we'll be connected and play more games. So it's really also depends on the servers, investing in servers for us, and the internet being good enough to sustain us. I think those are the main things that really hold us back on the continent, because sometimes you can't even play with someone in Egypt, even if you wanted to. It holds us back from having content or tournaments online. So that's what I think. So our success is tied hand in hand with that in a way.
Yeah, look, I think that's been one of FGC Africa's biggest tackles, was that look, African esports across the scene struggle from internet speeds. So it's a shame though, because as say Europe and America, North and South America, both progress in terms of their infrastructures, and they get faster fiber, and we Africa's always just like a couple steps behind, but the talent doesn't change. The talent stays the same. It's just the connection in between the two. Something that you were saying about FGC Africa there, and in terms of growing the community inside, I love that, because I mean that's what the whole point of FGC Africa was, and when we all started it was many years ago, and just the progression of it as it slowly happened. The whole point was to show the talent of the players, rather than who can connect with who and what happens. It was to show, look, the scene here is just as good as you guys. We just need to show you, and that interest, as you said, it happened over time, and it slowly got better. CGL sponsored us. Aquaman reached out and said, can you please tell us how to sort out North and South, and how do we divide it? And we sat down with them and said, this is how we do it, this is how we've come to figure it out. And those natural steps and that progression is definitely part of something that you mentioned in the first question, our journey, the NRS scene journey of Africa. But yeah,
For sure.
I appreciate exactly what you're saying on all those sentiments of the African scene, and I agree with you on all sides. Now, I read an interview recently that you did with, I think it was here's me trying to pronounce things right, Procerium? Yeah, Procerium.
Yeah, I hope I pronounced it well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And you touched on something that I thought was really cool. And it's a subject which I think reflects for all of us, and it's something that I'd love to chat to you about. So I'll be asking the exact same question again, is what life lessons have you learned from gaming and the FGC?
Okay, for me, it's not really like life lessons, but it's more like the takeaways that I've had. It's nice to belong to a community of people who feel the same way about certain things,
Yes.
the way you do, like have the same passion and the same goals, the same vision. That's really comforting. The other thing that I learned was I'm generally like an introverted person. Like I don't like crowds. I don't, I don't like being around so many people, honestly, like
Yeah,
in a go. And also, like even just this interview, it's so hard for me right now. Like I don't,
you're killing
like
it. Don't
I
worry.
get so nervous. Yeah. Uh, but being part of esports has really uh, kind of brought me out of my bubble, and I have learned to be more extroverted, which is really nice.
Good.
And I've also got to meet so many people throughout my esports journey that have really like helped my personal growth. Like I could drop names, but yeah, like, one of them is Bill Wagner, close friend of mine in the US.
Good.
Carlos. Okay, yeah, I can drop a lot of names, but so many people who have impacted my personal growth and people who I would consider family. And to me, that's the beauty of esports in general. That's what I've learned, and that's what I've grown into. The fact that most of us are across the world, and we are more like family. Like, we
Mm.
just hop online, and it's the best thing you do that day. Like I feel so happy every time I go online to play with my esports friends. I can't explain the euphoria I feel.
Yes.
And yeah, so that's the beauty about gaming and esports. I think the best thing about it is how we connect with each other and how we bond.
Yeah.
That's it like we bond over kills and and everything, but like
Totally
but
killed that guy.
it's just unreal. Like it's unreal. It's
Yes.
unreal. Like
No,
I consider most of my gamer friends more family than I don't know. Like it's just unreal. So
I
that's the best thing I've learned and I've experienced.
I agree with you wholeheartedly, and it's one of the biggest reasons why I started this podcast. Was I had met so many amazing people in what you obviously the family, the family. They should change it to FFGC or family fighting gaming community. I've met so many.
I know, right?
What a lame joke. But I've met so many interesting people, and yes, a lot of them I do consider some of my best friends. I would have them by my side at any kind of time, not only just playing games together. It is a wonderful thing, and I would never trade it for the world. So I agree with you completely. Um, but talking about being gamers, because that's what you're saying, your gamer friends. First off, you might be a founder of an esports organization, but first and foremost, you're also a gamer, and it looks like a big Apex fan from what I can see. Um, so where does the gamer tag Ellen Chu come from?
No. Well, okay. So the gamer tag is just my name. My Ellen is actually my real name. Although I don't know, but on my birth certificate there's one L. I don't know if they misspelled the name or that's how my grandmother spelled it. But yeah, I'm named after my grandmother.
Okay.
Plus my middle name Ellen.
Mhm.
So then I like the underscore. And then Cho is the first three letters of my real name, which is Cholwe. So it's just Ellen Cho.
Ellen Chu.
So those are my real names.
I'm gonna get it.
Although
By the end
every
of
time,
this podcast, I'm gonna get it right. I promise.
yeah, although like every time I'm playing online, most people think I'm Asian at first, and then they hear my accent, then they're like, okay, she's African.
She's African.
So yeah, it's Ellen Cho.
I would have said you Zambian straight away because I know the Zambian accents. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
Well,
so that's my gamer tag.
there we go. Gamer tag, nice and easy. There's the history. So, guys, thank you so much. I see everyone in chat here. Wow, couple new faces. Really good to see you. Jared, Lebo, Motionless Gaming. I see Team Dramatrix is here. I saw Prince is here. Buzzkill, welcome. Nicholas. All of you in the chat, awesome. Really glad to have you here. New faces. Please remember to like and subscribe and all that stuff. We've reached the halfway mark of the first to 10, which is where I remind you to go follow Cholwe on her Twitter below her, and also go subscribe to their team channel, Team Matrix. You can search it there, you'll find it nice and easy. All my socials are beneath me if you feel inclined. And if you would like to ask questions in the chat, please feel free to do so. However, I ask that you at Sheldzable so that it automatically highlights me and I'll be able to see your questions. And I'll ask them at the end of the stream. So please stay all the way to the end. Bonus questions time, Ellen. This is where I surprise you with a couple of questions that you've probably never heard of in your life. So let's get right into it. What instruments do you think are the most annoying?
As in music-wise?
Yeah.
Trumpet.
Trumpet.
Trumpets.
Sorry, all you trumpet players listening.
And vuvuzelas. And vuvuzelas.
And vuvuzelas. I think everyone hates. Okay, at least I do.
Only Africans will know.
Yeah, exactly. And next question is, what superhero or villain would make the best therapist?
Superhero. I think Rocket from Guardians of the Galaxy would be such a good therapist because we just punch you in the face to snap out of it.
That's a great idea.
And which villain? Therapist, villain. I think Thanos. Because you'd be like, let's just chill. Let's just have a shot.
Let's just end half.
And let's just watch the world burn.
Fair enough. I don't know if you've watched the new show What If, and I don't want to spoil it because Thanos.
Oh no, I haven't watched it. Don't spoil it.
Okay, I'm not going to say anything about it. There's a new episode where What If, T'Challa, obviously Black Panther was a guardian of the galaxy or was Star-Lord instead of actual Star-Lord, and it was so good. You guys got to watch that. It's only like half an hour. If you can, yeah, it's like their new, it's Marvel's like new series as it's coming out. Really good. Check it out if you can. And then, which smells better, fresh cut grass or bread baking in the oven?
Grass, especially when it's rained.
Yeah.
After it's rained, that smells so good.
I agree with you. I was gonna fight you on that one. I was gonna, if you said bread, I was gonna fresh cut grass wins every time. Derek in the chat said that Joker would make the best therapist. I don't know about that. I think look what happened to Harley Quinn. If you want to talk about,
he would kill you.
Harleen Quinzel turned into Harley Quinn because she was Joker's therapist. So it ain't gonna work for me. All right, let's go to the second half of the questions. This was a little inundated. Well, it's time has now passed a little bit, but hot off the press a couple months ago was the fact that your own Mr. 5000 couldn't go to We Play UFL, Ultimate Fighting League, for anyone who doesn't know what that was, which was an invitational for a tournament in the Ukraine. But Mr. 5000 has been competing in locals here. He played in FGC Africa's Khan of Africa, CGL series. He recently played in the Coliseum. I think he won that, didn't he? Correct me if I'm wrong. Can't remember. Anyways.
Would have to ask him.
You'd have to ask him, yeah, for sure. But he has previously traveled to Evo. He came over this side to Celtic Throwdown. I'm not sure if he went on those two, Evo and Celtic Throwdown, as team manager. Did you go?
No. I was working.
Oh, you were working.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm sure you have knowledge of the games, of course. But how do you keep your... This is more of a, a question on when you are with them. How do you keep your players grounded and motivated when in the thick of it, especially when they're at major events like this?
I think it depends for me. Obviously, I know most about the games, but I am kind of learning. I'm very casual when it comes to the games.
Yeah.
I'd like to say I focus more on trying to make the opportunities happen.
Yeah.
But that's what co-founders are for. So I have my partner Prince, and he's really like in touch with the mix and the frame data and all those things.
Okay.
But the funny thing is that the players kind of know everything they need to know about the game.
Mm-hmm.
But where it comes down to it is just the moral support and also listening to them more. That's where I get to know where I'm needed and what exactly I need to do to help make the experience better. So it's more listening and less talking, and also it's also understanding how hard it is for them and being there for them and making it feel easier, because I feel it's kind of is a pressure, when your if your team manager is saying you need to get a top 8, or you need to get top 3. But like I said, it's also a process. It's understanding. Like, so to them, they may say, oh, I need to win, which is good. They need to win, right? But for me, I'm looking at it at the point to say, okay, play your best and learn what you can so that you do better next time. Like, I won't tell them that, but at the back of it all, that's what it is. For them to understand the characters. Like, for example, Han hates Jackie. Hates Jackie in tournaments. So yeah, like, it's really just having that conversation, and then all of them have got different things that work for them, like different things that they do. Like what can I say? Like, I don't want to say rituals, but like they've got their own different rituals. Like Zaza doesn't want to be talked to; he just wants to be in his zone. Like, once he gets in that mind, you just have to.
I didn't know
let
that.
him be.
I'm gonna remember that.
Yeah, like he gets into his, his tennis zone. So you really need to just like let him be. Like,
Okay.
Don't bother him. Just get him what he needs, and yeah. So like there's so many different things, but I feel more so as a manager, you need to listen more, because you may feel like you need to do something that will help them better, but it's not really what they need.
Yeah.
So it's about listening more to what they need and how best you can assist to make their experience better.
That's awesome.
So that's really where it is. If they want someone to vent to about how messed up the tournament was, you're there.
That's great.
If they want someone to cry on, you're there. So it's about just being there and really understanding that there's so much that comes into play, so many factors that come into play to them to actually do good, and how best you can help make the experience better.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
That's great. That's exactly what I would imagine a good team manager, a good team leader to be. So you're there for everything, and that's wonderful. I'm really glad to hear how you already know your players' interesting little quirks and what they like to do, their little rituals. I thought I had rituals. I did. I would literally wash my hands like over and over again, because my hands would get like so sweaty before I play. So I'd go and wash my hands like 2 or 3 times before I played like a match, and I would do that. So I'd wash my hands.
That's a ritual.
It's weird. So I got to wash my hands like throughout all my games. But yeah, that's good to hear. So the next question is and thanks to Bilal for the correction. Mark the Shark won the Coliseum. Correct. Thank you for that.
Yes.
And Mark is currently Khan of Africa at the moment. And that's the new FGC Africa series that's coming back in September. And I think you need to watch out, because there is some people that like the taste of shark. And one of them is a Team Gematrix player. So keep your guys' eyes out for that. But talking about players, I've actually split this up now, this question.
Okay.
Because as you know, FGC Africa now does north, west, and southeast, because Africa's huge. We've got lots of great players. Now, yours doesn't specifically have to be FGC related, and I think it would be a little bit unfair if we were biased here. So I'm going to ask you, who is your favorite? Who is your must-watch player in the south and east of Africa? Who? Only one. And then you can give me a north one as well, if you feel you've got one up that side.
Players. The problem is I talked to so many managers. Like those are the names that are in my brain. But okay, unbiased. In which games?
Let's go Mortal Kombat. And then we can say Call of Duty.
Call of Duty exists in Africa still.
I don't know. Apex? Who's playing? I don't know. What's the other? Let's talk FGC. This is all I know.
I know, right? Okay.
Sure. Who's your favorite player in the South and East? Let's say FGC related. Doesn't have to be more
combined. Yeah. All right. I won't lie. Justin is my favorite. Unbiased whatsoever. Justin, and then also. Okay. If I was to, okay, this is so unbiased, but if I was to say, yeah, Justin, and who else? I can't think.
Chola goes for 5,000 first, and then goes unbiased.
Yeah, like unbiased, Justin, yeah.
Okay. So totally biased. Of
yeah.
course you're gonna go for it. Of course, you're supporting your players. I can see that. So your favorite?
Oh no, like for real. But if I go other than that, I would look out for Zaza in Injustice 3. But we don't know if Injustice 3 is coming out.
Yes, we don't. No, we don't.
But other than that, like I like the way Mark the Shark has been building up momentum. So like, yeah, like he's really good. It's really good.
Good.
So yeah. Oh my god, I can't believe you put me on the spot like that. But anyway,
it's part of it. You got to roll with the punches here.
Okay.
Anyone from the north and south? The north and west that you've seen that you've been really impressed by?
Yes, there is a guy. Oof. I'll kill myself after this interview. But what I can recall, I know I have his Twitter handle, but I just can't put the name. But he's Hamza. I think it's called Hamza.
Yeah, Hamza. He's from.
I can't.
Yeah.
He's from
Senegal.
Senegal.
Yes.
And he plays for Solo Esports.
Correct.
He is really good. So that's someone to look out for in that region.
Yes, Hamza.
Like he could go far.
No, definitely. Hamza's fantastic. He's doing very well with Solo Esports. Me and Thunder had a good chat. Very nice guys. All of them very humble. They were actually one of the big people to push us to do a Combat Africa volume for the North and West, and constantly do them. And yeah, they just said, come on, please. And Hamza was like, please, I need a platform to perform on. And I went over to his Twitter now to see what you were, he's mentioned there, Combat Africa Volume 37, Northern Alliance,
Yes.
He knows exactly which ones he's been partaking in. And he's really, definitely, if you're not following him as well, go check them out. So those two people, go follow them on Twitter. It's at Hamza Solo and at Justin, what's his full
Banda
name?
17.
There we go. Can't forget it. What a fan. What a fan.
I'm a number one fan of everyone on our team, so yeah.
Great. So, talking about players, to any inspiring pro gamers out there, what advice would you give them to help break into the industry, especially from an African perspective?
The first one that I have to be honest with is take it with a pinch of salt. You have to sacrifice for everything you want. This goes across life and it goes into gaming as well. You can't wait for a team to make your dream happen, and you can't wait for someone to make it happen for you. It has to begin with you, and it has to begin with your self-motivation. So, for example, you have to control the narrative of your story and build it up. So if you want to make it as a pro gamer, you have to understand that it's a process and it's long term. So you have to invest. If it means buying a router, or it means raising money for internet so that you're always connected and playing with people better than you. It's also you taking the losses as learns and learning from your mistakes along the way and not being so hard on yourself. Um, you also have to really invest into content because I feel as much as you're a great player, you have to show the progress of your growth. That is what will attract teams to you. That's what will attract followers to you. That's what will attract momentum towards your brand. You have to understand that if you want to get to the point of uh, being such a prominent player in a region or in the continent or internationally, you have to build brand around yourself. So you have to start researching, like do the homework, research about how best you can build a brand around gaming for yourself and really focus on that. And when I mean sacrifice, I'm not saying like clear out your bank account or whatever, but I'm saying, um, make a goal. Okay, say you have a vision to say I want to be a top player or a top content creator.
Yeah.
Make it a goal to say, okay, at the end of 6 months, I'll get myself an Elgato. At the end of 12 months, I'll have myself a PC. Like, keep saving to that. And then get to a point where you create your own content, you brand yourself, and you create a story around yourself.
For sure.
I'm not saying fabricate a story, but just share your experiences as you're growing with people. And that will help as you're growing your brand. Eventually, a team will see your progress, your placements, And another thing I learned from my cousin is it's important to also have, most players have a link tree where you can find all the social media handles.
Yes.
But it'd also be nice if you had, a site that's like your self-biography, that shows your interests, what motivates you, all your placements. It's so that if someone goes to search for you, okay, Ellen Cho, they just go on your Twitter and, oh, this is the link tree and this is a site to her page. They see a video of you, they see all your placements. That's a portfolio.
I tell you what,
so
that
you're
would be
constantly
super
creating
helpful.
a
That'd be super helpful for me because that is what I have to do all the time. That is part of my part of it. I have to look up and find out. I troll through YouTube finding out everyone's placements because you guys don't list it on your profiles.
Exactly.
100% behind that.
And yes, and you can't be sending PDFs to people's DMs, like, and then on top of that,
here's my gaming CV.
And then and then, it's funny in business, they always say, make it easier for your customer to find you, right? So that their process of buying from you is easier. Like, don't make it difficult or else you lose a customer. So you shouldn't make it difficult for your fans and your potential sponsors and people want to sponsor you as a team to make it hard to find your placements, know about you. Your social media should speak for you. And if you're going to go down this journey, you also have to mind what you say. It's nice to have an opinion, but just stay away from certain topics that would make them perceive you as an off character from what they're looking for. So
definitely,
those are the tips I can give you.
Wow, those were great. From building your brand to showing them what you're all about and what inspires you. Those are some great tidbits and perspective on someone who is literally working in the industry. So thank you for that, Ellen. That was really, 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 really good. I love that.
You're welcome.
We're gonna be stepping away from the advice and the players and stuff and finding out a little bit more about you again, as we do here. And this is arguably some of the people's favorite parts of the show, and I think some of the guests' favorites, because now we get to find out what your favorite stuff is. So, the question is a four-parter basically, but it's what is the favorite of this in this part of your life. So you can take it as my whole life, but you can take it as what's your favorite right now, because I've got loads of stuff that I used to love, but I love a lot of other things now, if you know what I mean. So here's the question as it stands: what are your favorite movies, series, music, and food at this time of your life?
Okay. At this time of my life, I love plantain. I also love butter chicken,
Butter chicken.
and I love margaritas.
Margaret.
I'm not endorsing alcohol.
I don't
I'm
know
not
if
endorsing alcohol, but I'm being honest. Like, uh, yeah. For some time, like my Twitter handle was Gem Margarita at some point because that's how much I love margaritas.
Wow, that's an honest
And wine,
answer.
red wine,
Red wine for sure.
and yes. Then what else?
What's your
Oh,
favorite?
red wine Merlot.
So that's your food side of things.
Yes.
What's your,
What did you say?
what's your,
Favorite movie?
I'll go through them. What's your favorite music at this time of your life?
My favorite music right now is old. It's Linkin Park. Great Days. Great Days is also a band that Chester Bennington, my favorite musician of all time, started
R.I.P.,
when he was a teenager. His friends. So I'm listening to a lot of Great Days. I'm just in that mood for Great Days and Linkin Park right now.
Yeah.
And I'm going through, like, the past few days I've been listening to some old Kanye West albums.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
I gave
I'm in that
Graduation a
vibe right
listen
now.
again the other day, and Linkin Park. I listened to Meteora album. I'm all across the spectrum with music. But what's your favorite Linkin Park album? Because those I do know.
Like Hybrid Theory and
Hybrid
Meteor.
Theory gonna be
Those are
number
my
one.
favorite.
And Meteora. Hey?
Yeah, yeah.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Favorite
Yeah.
series.
Okay. I if anyone knows me, I watch so many series at the same time.
Fair.
So it's about that week. So so this
What's it
week,
this week?
oh my god, I'm watching this Tyler Perry movie, a show called Sisters.
Sisters. Never heard of
I
it.
love it so much. Yes, I relate with all the characters in so many different ways, like this one, this one, this one, this one. So yeah, so I love Sisters. It's my number one.
Okay.
I look forward to it every week. The other show is Shooter. Lead star Ryan Philippe, produced,
I do know
executive produced
Shooter.
by Mark Wahlberg. Yeah,
Yes,
so
I
I'm on
do know
season
Shooter.
3.
Good job.
I didn't know there was a show, but I just found out on Netflix. So I'm like, okay, binge. So that's what I'm doing.
Binge.
Yeah.
Just like that. All right. And
Yeah.
favorite movies.
Favorite movies. Oof. Okay. Like I said, I watch so many movies. So, I don't have any right now, honestly. But I can say genre-wise. Okay. This week,
Okay.
there's this movie I've been watching
Excited.
called this movie called Rurouni Kenshin. It's like an anime based on an anime, but it's a movie. It's so good. Like,
Rowan?
watch it to Rurouni Kenshin. It's on Netflix. Start with Rurouni Kenshin, the beginning. Yeah, it's so good. It's so good. It's like MK, but in a Japanese type movie. Like, he's just killing people, and he's just like, he's an assassin. So it's really good.
Rurouni Kenshin? Is that it?
Yes, yes, that's how you spell it. Yeah.
Rurouni Kenshin.
That's how
Okay,
you
wait, let
pronounce
me. While I've got it on my mind. Okay, let's check this out.
Yeah.
I won't be showing it on the stream, but okay. Part 1, final. Okay, wow, it's like a little series of movies.
Yeah.
That's cool. Awesome. I'm gonna check that out. I love suggestions. We were talking about anime films the other day on the podcast, and we were talking about people's favorite anime films. We were talking about films. But that'll be another conversation. So this one gets split into another question because it's kind of hard not to talk about different games. So I'm gonna ask you to name your top 5 games of your life.
Ooh, that's tough. Okay. So my number 1 game is Contra.
Contra. From the
yes,
SNES.
I don't know which. Like I said, we had a console called Ending Man. It was a ripoff of a Sega.
Okay, yeah. The copycat one, yeah.
Yes, so it was like two characters, one wearing red and black and blue, and then you're starting the jungle stage. So I don't know
Yeah,
which contra that
that's
is.
Contra 2.
Yes, contra 2.
Yeah.
That's my number one. The second one, oh my God, Mortal Kombat, because it was the first game I ever played in my entire life. So that one's number two.
Did you see the Contra movie trailer?
No,
Okay.
I'm scared. Is it worth it? Is it
Yeah,
good?
of course. It plays off of that one that you know so well, the jungle one. So check it out.
Okay, okay,
So
all
Mortal,
right, okay.
so we got Contra, we got Mortal Kombat. Give us the next three.
Okay. From Mortal Kombat, Uncharted 4.
Oh,
Uh,
brilliant.
Not just the game, but the multiplayer to be specific. Because that's what really got me into online gaming, and I was like obsessed with it. Like live, breathe, Uncharted multiplayer online.
And it's still
And
going, which is quite good.
mm, I met some very good friends off that game online. So yeah, that's number 3. Number 4 has to be Apex Legends. I hated it
Apex.
at first. Prince forced me to play it. I hated it. I hated him for it and laughing at me through the gameplay, but I finally got a hand of it and I love it. I'm
Oh,
obsessed
good.
with Apex Legends. Um, number five, right?
Yeah,
Five,
number 5.
Um, I'd love to say, hmm, okay. I'll just put Super Mario on it. No. Actually, not Super Mario. Metal Gear. The one on the it was Nintendo. I don't know which console that was, but I loved it. So
Dreamcast, GameCube. Ooh, Metal Gear
I
Solid
can't remember.
1 came out on PlayStation 1.
They had one where when you die, like you start the game from scratch.
Whoa, can
That's so
someone in chat confirm
yeah.
which Metal Gear Solid was that you died completely? I can't remember.
You just keep growing up in the screen, like you're playing up. He turns, he goes, just like that. I can't remember it. Like
maybe
I can't
maybe
remember.
those hints are good. Someone in chat can tell us. But those are some premium games. I can tell you that. So going on to the next question, which is kind of how we kind of ending off the first to 10 side of things. And someone asked it actually right at the beginning of the stream, so I didn't actually ask. It was actually Henry Mumba said, what are your future plans? So that's basically what this question actually is what's next for Cholwe? What's next for Ellen Cho?
So
Any hidden projects? Are you looking for more players to join your organization? What's the plan? What's next?
the plan. So right now I'm just kind of at a crossroads, trying to figure out well which genre of game we should get into. And then obviously after that, then the scouting of players will come into play. But it's more like just figuring out which genre we can align best with our vision, and just going through the nitty-gritty stuff around that. The other thing that I could talk about is really I'm just looking forward to building the brand, and the next couple of months really investing more of my time into rebranding our players and making their individual brands stronger. And just really working around that. And also as Team Geometrics, we recently started like developing our website, and it's almost done, and I'm so excited about that. It's almost done. We also did an apparel store which is almost live, so it will go live with the website.
We need to talk about that. I need to get me some geometric stuff, but somehow we need to figure out how I can get it all the way here, please. We need to talk about that. Serious business. Okay.
I'd love to shout out to our apparel partner, but if I shout out, someone will go on the site and they'll find our merch. But anyway, maybe yeah. So shout out to our partner. I'll shout them out in real time when the site launches.
Great.
But I'm looking forward to the website because it has been a long time coming. We finally found a partner who could design our website. And it's going to be pretty dope. We'll be hosting tournaments to the site. Great. And selling our merchandise. We have a new product that's coming out that will help players make some money, like even if they're not signed to Gematrix.
Okay.
And we've created something called Cruise, where it will be a program where people who would like to be affiliated to a brand can be part of the process of our growth, whether it's to hosting tournaments or just doing cool stuff within the brand. So I'm really looking forward to launching the site very, very soon, by next month.
Awesome. I did go on you guys' side. I did see a couple of the merch. I don't know if I didn't see. I probably saw your old merch, but I was waiting to actually chat to you about organizing that and how we can get it this side. But that's awesome. I'm excited to see how your guys' thing works. Tell me, is that going to be Zambia only, or is it going to be South and East Africa? Is it going to be all of Africa? What's the plan with that?
The tournaments. Okay. So for the tournaments, we're gonna start with hosting local, like Zambian tournaments, just so that we could get a hand of things and really understand how best to do it. We're gonna open up to regional, then continental, and then we'll start doing some tournaments in the US. So it's going to be like a process of milestones, I should say, when it comes to hosting tournaments. Yeah. Then when it comes to merchandise, anyone around the globe can purchase the merchandise. So it will be globally open.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I look forward to that. And if you need anything from FGC Africa in any capacity, just give me a shout. And all of us a shout.
Thank you.
You are most welcome. Looking back at the chats, I'm gonna have to. So we asked the question, and I wish Team Gematrix all the best for the launch of the website. But now we're gonna ask you some serious questions. And someone asked me in chat. They just blanket statement said, "Sheldzable, ask Cho about anime." What does that mean? Just ask her about anime. Does that mean ask her what her favorite animes are at the moment? Can you give me top 5 animes? Maybe that will be the easiest way to answer that question.
Top 5.
Top 5.
Okay. Let's stay night. My top number 1 is called Gears.
Gears. Okay.
Black Cat. You guys, I haven't watched anime in such a long time. I like Bleach, but
I was gonna say if you didn't say,
kind of.
I was more Naruto than Bleach, but I love both of them.
I like Naruto, but I never growing up we didn't have cable, proper cable, so I would only watch Naruto on SABC3. But then, it was I couldn't follow it, so I didn't.
Because there was no anime. What was there? No dubs.
Yeah, there were dubs, but the next week maybe the episode won't come, and then you have to force.
Just literally.
You know that thing.
Why am I watching episode 172 and I was watching number 39 yesterday?
That's the thing. So it's it was so frustrating. Yeah, which other anime?
Give us one more.
Oh, you guys, I feel so on the spot. Oh my god. Castlevania, and the Dragon King. Yeah, these are Netflix.
Oh, the Dragon Prince is fantastic.
Oh, Dragon Prince. Yes, Dragon Prince and Castlevania. I loved Castlevania so much. Yeah.
I'm surprised Darkadus didn't mention his question, his weekly question. I'll ask it anyways because he's probably just forgotten.
Okay.
He's sitting there in chat and someone said something about staring at a screen, which I'm not sure about. But he normally asks, what would you rather fight? Would it be one dinosaur-sized chicken, or 100 chicken-sized what was it? One chicken-sized dinosaur.
You can't remember the question.
No, it's tough because he usually mentions. I know it. It's one. Would you rather fight one dinosaur-sized chicken, or 100 chicken-sized dinosaurs? There we go. Daedalus. Sorry, Daedalus.
Chicken-sized dinosaurs, so that I can step on them and kick them.
There it is.
So yeah.
Oh gosh, BJ is confusing. I'm confusing Darkaders with Daedalus. Oh, what a day. What a day. And then Stabs in chat said, there is no business like show business. So I think you need
What? What's that?
check in the chat there. Have you got chats open? No.
No, I can't see
I'm
the
gonna
chat.
send it to you on WhatsApp so you can check this out. This is hilarious. Let me find it. There we go. He just said there ain't no business like show business.
What?
Yeah.
So it's like a pun.
Yeah,
it's like
a pun on your name,
like
exactly.
show business.
Yes.
Okay, I'll take that.
All right, guys, that's the end of our section there. We're now going into, I think, a section that Cho is going to be a little worried for, and it's a little thing we like to do here on Let's Talk FGC called the Speedfire Fun Trivia Quiz.
Okay.
Now, so now, if you're not here from last season, it's different. Last season we based it only on MK law, but now it's on everything and anything of what I've done research on the previous week. So answers are welcome in chat. The rules are simple. You, Ellen, have 5 to 10 seconds to answer. It's out of 7, meaning that there are bonus points available on 2 questions. So 7 points, 5 questions. Currently, the scoreboard, you are the last person, which means the next podcast does not have anyone doing Speedfire Fun Trivia Quiz, which means you are the last person to take first place. You could take it. All you need to do is get 5.5 points to beat Mark the Shark. Okay.
Wow.
5,000.
Who beats Mark the Shark? Okay, cool.
Okay. Lots of people beat Mark. Oh, we were talking about that earlier, about building your brand. I want to let you guys all know that I have beaten Mark. I've beaten 5,000. I've beaten Zaza, Hon Receipt, all of them. And I'll put it on my Twitter, everything. I'll beat them all. And I've got no way of proving it. So those are the rules. Are you ready? Cool, let's go into it. Guys, please feel free to answer in chat. Question number 1. What are the 4 colors of the Zambian flag?
Red, red, orange, black, green.
Correct. 2 points for you. Well done. Name 4 Apex Legends that were introduced as part of each season after Season 1. So you can't use the base roster.
Okay. Rampart, Fuse, Sia. How many did you say? Mention?
4.
How many?
4.
4. Sia and good.
Oh, ding, ding, ding. Oh, gosh. Yeah, so close.
I got.
Only one. Oh, I have to. There was 2 points available there if you got one more, but I can only give you 1 because you only got 3. Okay. Question number 3.
Okay.
Tropical storms is the most common natural hazard in Zambia. True or false?
False.
It is true. What is the world's most venomous fish?
There's such a thing.
Yeah.
Gosh, I don't
Take
know.
a guess.
I don't know. Well, in my defense, Zambia is a landlocked country, so we don't have an ocean. So I wouldn't know.
Fair enough. It's a stone. It's a stone fish. All right.
I almost said the starfish.
Well, if you got it, I would have given you half a point for fish. So, and then the last question is: what are people with astrophobia afraid of?
Stars.
You're in the right direction. Do you want to change your answer?
Wormholes.
It's
They're afraid of the dark sky without stars,
they're afraid of the
or
dark.
they're the red moon.
Yeah. No, they're just going for all of them. They're afraid of dark skies with a red moon and nighttime all
And no
together.
stars.
Astrophobia. No, it's thunder and lightning. That's what they're afraid of.
Ah, really?
You had the sky. I mean, I thought that you might have would have clicked there. Oh, so close. If you had, yeah, just and these questions go back very quickly, but you did tie with 5,000. So your number one fan.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, 3 out of 7. Well done.
Thank you.
Solway. You did very well, guys. That's we've reached the end of our podcast. Very thank you for tuning in, everyone in in the chat. I see you guys all having a couple laughs there. Please check out my YouTube for more episodes coming, and follow me on Twitter at Sheldzable. My link tree, as we were talking about earlier, is in my Twitter handle. Or if you'd like to get it from the chat, you can just go !socials and it'll come up. Also, you can follow me on Twitch. I'm also there. The podcast is live on Tuesdays now at 7:30 every week, usually. But as we're coming to the end of the season, which would be almost 10 episodes this season, which is fantastic. I think next week will be the 10th episode. Yeah, we're going to take a little break, and then we'll come back with more people, more guests, and some extra little tidbits going along. We'll be having people that have done really well in the Speedfire Fun quiz, and they'll come back for a games night. Let's call it Let's Talk FGC Games Night. And we'll be doing kind of like a game show thing with all the people, previous guests, which will be you included, Chalwe. So get ready for that. Please DM me some trivia questions if you'd like them featured in the future. 4th of August, not 4th of August. 4th of August, we had Daedalus. The September, I'm trying to get my next date here for anyone that would like to come watch the podcast. September 7th is the next one. We will either have Zaza from Team Gematrix, or we'll be having the FGC Africa panel discussion, just to chat with FGC Africa and see what's happening with them. So come back then, mark your calendars. Many thanks to you, Chalwe, for coming on the show. As always, I thank you so much for coming to hang with us, and I ask you to give us your last words. Any last words for our listeners?
Follow us on our social media handles at Team Gematrix on Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. And look forward to our website, and we look forward to building a great brand. Also, I'll be starting a podcast very soon too.
Yay!
Thanks to the motivation from this podcast.
Good.
So I look forward to starting that. So just follow me at Cholo Shabukali on Twitter for more updates. Yeah.
Good. Definitely. I look forward to seeing or hearing your podcast and what you tell us more about it on your Twitter. I look forward to hearing it. All right. On that note, goodbye, everyone. And I'll see you guys soon on the next episode. Bye.